Andretti's push to enter F1 has escalated. Ferrari's heavily upgraded car will break cover with Red Bull-style side pods, and Mercedes needs big upgrades for its car if it wants to challenge the others. Let's get straight into the latest F1 news. Martin Brundle has provided an explanation stating that the forthcoming advancements by Mercedes hold great significance for the remainder of their season and potentially even for 2025, considering their subpar start to the year by their own standards. Lewis Hamilton's podium finish in the sprint race in China stands as the team's most impressive result thus far, while George Russell's fifth place in Bahrain represents their highest achievement in a Grand Prix scenario. During the Miami event, Russell mentioned that although the team made a significant change in their development approach with the W15 this year, they may have gone too far away from their previous concept, possibly overcompensating for the alteration. Consequently, the team now seeks to find a favorable balance as they endeavor to challenge Red Bull, Ferrari, and McLaren, who are currently ahead of them. Brundle clarifies that the forthcoming modifications to the W15 will determine the course of the team's trajectory throughout this year. Moreover, due to the stable regulations in Formula One, he suggests that these changes could potentially influence the design of the 2025 car as well. Brundle's post-Miami Sky Sports column highlights Lewis Hamilton's impressive and competitive race to secure sixth place, exhibiting remarkable overtaking maneuvers, particularly his brave move against Nico Hülkenberg's Haas. Towards the end of the race, the Mercedes displayed good speed, yet both Hamilton and George Russell struggled with inconsistent performance throughout the weekend. Mercedes has upcoming upgrades that will critically shape the remainder of their season and could also address and resolve the underlying issues with the car. On the other hand, McLaren's upgraded car seems to have closed the gap to Red Bull, whereas Ferrari eagerly anticipates their own imminent upgrades. Drawing parallels, Aston Martin's performance has regressed compared to their position at this time last year. Brundle expresses hope for a reversal of their fortunes, recalling the numerous podium finishes achieved by Fernando Alonso at a similar stage in the previous season. Aston Martin's solution to their current setback is eagerly awaited, as Fernando Alonso finished in ninth place during the recent race, crossing the finish line 37 seconds behind the leader, despite the safety car bunching up the field on lap 28. Ferrari will be testing their upgraded SF24 car this week to evaluate whether the data acquired from wind tunnel testing translates into improved lap times. Throughout the initial stages of this year's championship, Ferrari held the second fastest position, securing podium finishes in the first 4 races alongside Red Bull. However, Ferrari was displaced from that position by McLaren in China. McLaren solidified their standing as the second-best team when Lando Norris clinched victory at the Miami Grand Prix, racing in McLaren's extensively modified MCL38, which reportedly provides an additional 0.4 of a second advantage. In response, Ferrari has prepared their own upgrade. Charles Leclerc stated, "This upgrade holds immense significance as it will determine the trajectory of our season. I'm eagerly anticipating it and hoping that it propels us forward significantly. This year will be a race of upgrades, and I'm glad that we will soon have new components for our car that can potentially match the quality of McLaren's." The upgrade package is said to include Red Bull-inspired side pods featuring slimmer radiator openings, a new floor, and a front wing. Considering the correlation issues that have caught Mercedes off guard this season, Ferrari aims to avoid a similar setback by thoroughly evaluating the enhanced car through a private filming session at their Fiorano circuit before heading to Imola. Formula1A.Uno reports that this will be a decisive occasion for the considerably modified SF24. In line with their plans from 2023, when they conducted a filming day ahead of Austria to test the new front wing and floor of the SF23 car, this year's report suggests that Frédéric Vasseur and Enrico Cardile have scheduled another testing session to introduce the 2.0 version of the SF24 on the track. Between Thursday and Friday, Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz will each have the opportunity to drive the Ferrari single-seater for approximately 200 kilometers, splitting the distance evenly, the report reveals. The Italian publication comments that the car has performed admirably thus far and adds that the debut SF24 has reached its peak performance. After an extensive learning period and diligent work by the technicians who have maximized its potential, it is now due for an update. Despite Ferrari team principal Vasseur believing that the Scuderia will be competitive in Imola, he downplays the notion that the upcoming upgrade will be a game changer. Undoubtedly, we will be able to contend for victory in Imola. However, I believe that the varying gap from track to track and from one tire compound to another makes a more substantial difference than an upgrade, commented Vasseur during the Miami Grand Prix. When asked if Ferrari's development is being expedited in light of the next race being held in Italy, the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix, he responded, "No. The development process does not revolve around bringing something specifically for Imola because it's in Italy. We are persistently pushing for development, and as soon as we are ready, we produce the required parts." He elaborated, "The proximity of Imola to our factory does assist in the timely release of parts. Nevertheless, it has nothing to do with Italy. Furthermore, as previously mentioned, we should not expect this upgrade to be a game changer. However, the competition is so intense that, with another small step, we will truly be in a position to challenge Red Bull every single weekend." Helmut Marko believes that if Adrien Newey continues in Formula One, he won't end up with Ferrari, but rather with a different appealing color, such as green. Aston Martin is reportedly one of the potential teams interested in hiring the highly acclaimed design genius. Red Bull recently announced that Newey would leave their team after this season, as he has already taken a backseat in their Formula One operations. The 65-year-old, who has contributed to Red Bull's winning of 13 championship titles and counting, will bid farewell to the team sometime in the first quarter of 2025. As for Newey's next destination, not even the design legend himself is sure yet. Speculation has linked him to Ferrari, and there are reports of a meeting between him and a representative from the Scuderia. On the other hand, Aston Martin seems eager to make a lucrative offer to secure his services. Craig Slater, a Sky Sports reporter, claims to have heard from around a dozen people who are familiar with Newey, stating that there is a genuine possibility of him joining Ferrari. Conversely, he says that approximately 30 people have informed him that Aston Martin is not in the running. Contrary to the rumors, Marko, who knows Newey well, believes that Aston Martin might actually be his preferred choice. He thinks that the color red doesn't quite match with the team's dark blue theme, whereas a vibrant color like green could offer more possibilities. If Marko's prediction comes true, it would see Newey team up with Fernando Alonso for the first time, despite their careers overlapping for many years. Alonso has always harbored a desire to work alongside Newey and holds him in high regard. He considers Newey the greatest Formula One designer of all time and a true legend of the sport. Alonso feels privileged to compete and be part of Newey's journey, as his own career has frequently entailed racing against Newey-designed cars. Alonso revealed that in the past, when he had discussed the possibility of joining Red Bull, he had also engaged in conversations with Newey. There was mutual admiration between them, and Newey respected Alonso's abilities as a driver. Alonso is curious to see what Newey's future holds. However, the decision of whether Newey will join Aston Martin rests with team owner Lawrence Stroll rather than Alonso. The Spanish driver expressed satisfaction with his current technical department and acknowledged that while Newey is undeniably one of the best in his field, a harmonious fit within the team is crucial. Ultimately, it will be Lawrence's call. In the meantime, Alonso will have to settle for owning a Newey-designed road car, the Aston Martin Valkyrie, which he considers a personal gift to himself. Alex Albon explained that Nico Hülkenberg's transfer to Sauber acted as a catalyst in the current driver market. This move could potentially lead to significant decisions across the grid within the next few weeks. Prior to the Miami Grand Prix, it was announced that Hülkenberg would join Sauber in the upcoming season through a multi-year agreement, coinciding with Sauber's transition to Audi in 2026. This marked a pivotal moment in the driver market. Alex Albon expressed that Hülkenberg's move might ignite a rapid sequence of events during this period of speculation and uncertainty. Sauber's team representative Alessandro Aluni Bravi also revealed that they are considering Carlos Sainz for their second team position next season. With 10 vacant spots on the grid and a fierce competition to secure the best seats, drivers and their representatives are arriving at races earlier this year to assert their interests. As a result, Albon believes that the entire grid for the next season could be finalized within a mere 2 weeks. Contracts will be deliberated and decided upon throughout the field. "The pace of these developments is astonishing," Albon stated to the media in Miami over the weekend. Nico triggered a series of events at Sauber, and I anticipate that the second one will follow soon. Personally, my focus lies not so much on next year, but on the subsequent year. These upcoming weeks will undoubtedly determine the decisions that will shape the entire grid. Albon acknowledged that the grid is filling up earlier than usual, attributing this trend to the abundance of available seats. He has observed a surge in driver agents roaming the paddock, diligently seeking the most favorable deals for their clients. "It's an unprecedented situation for all of us, not just myself," he added. "There's definitely an increased level of activity." You can spot numerous managers strolling through the paddock during this time of the year. James Vowles, the team principal of Williams, confirmed that Albon remains under contract with the team until 2025. Albon joined Williams after serving as Red Bull's reserve driver, signing a multi-year agreement. To date, Albon has yet to score any points in the World Championship this season, as Williams has encountered challenges in achieving positions that yield points. F1's rejection of Andretti was reportedly due to financial reasons, and now the chairman of the United States House Judiciary Committee is conducting an investigation into F1 and Liberty Media in order to seek clarification. Although the FIA had approved Andretti Cadillac's bid to become the 11th team in Formula One last year, the sports management chose to reject the American team. The reasons put forth by F1 seem dubious and unrelated, considering doubts about the competitiveness of Andretti's bid and whether they could contribute value to the sport. F1 also mentioned that Andretti would have to rely on a current F1 engine manufacturer until General Motors had their own engine ready. This decision has been met with opposition from Michael Andretti, the owner of the Andretti team, who is determined to proceed with his Formula One plans and has the support of his father, Mario Andretti, the 1978 F1 world champion. Now, Republican Jim Jordan, chairman of the U.S. House of Representatives Judiciary Committee, is lending his support to Andretti. He has initiated an investigation that must be completed by May 21st. Jordan sent a letter to Greg Maffei, the president and CEO of Liberty Media, and Stefano Domenicali, the CEO of F1, requesting documents and communications pertaining to F1's decision. The letter states that the Committee on the Judiciary is responsible for examining the effectiveness of federal competition laws in preventing monopolies and unfair trade practices. According to Jordan, sports leagues such as Formula One operate in a unique area of antitrust law, where some degree of collaboration is necessary to create the product. However, when a sports league deviates from its rules and practices in a way that reduces competition and dampens consumer interest, this collusion may constitute anti-competitive behavior. Jordan specifically questions F1's decision to block the partnership between Andretti Global and General Motors. He argues that the excuses given for denying Andretti Cadillac's entry seem pretextual, arbitrary, and unrelated to their ability to compete in Formula One. While F1 claims that a new team would only add value by competing for podiums and race wins, Jordan points out that the FIA had already assessed and approved Andretti Cadillac's technical capabilities to compete against current teams. Furthermore, most current teams in Formula One do not regularly compete for podium finishes or race wins. F1 also criticized Andretti Cadillac for planning to use an existing engine manufacturer, stating that it could damage the prestige and standing of F1. However, F1 contradicts itself by saying that if Andretti Cadillac were to use a new engine manufactured by General Motors in their first year, it would pose a challenge for the team. Jordan argues that F1 cannot have it both ways. He claims that FIA President Mohammed Ben Sulayem clarified that the rejection of Andretti Cadillac is solely motivated by money. Jordan alleges that F1's decision to deny Andretti was intended to protect weak teams and constitutes anti-competitive behavior. He suggests that weak teams want to shield themselves from competition, which ultimately harms consumers. Additionally, he believes that limiting the number of teams in Formula One would increase the cost of sponsoring or acquiring an existing team. As the investigation progresses and potential legislation regarding the structure and competition of sports leagues is considered, Jordan requests a briefing on the decision to reject Andretti Cadillac's application to join Formula One. This investigation by Jordan follows the accusations of 12 U.S. lawmakers who accused F1 of engaging in cartel-like behavior by rejecting Andretti's entry into the grid. If you want to win some free merch, the merch giveaway is still on. I'll do the giveaway to 10 lucky subscribers if we can get to 1,000 by the end of this week. Now watch this video next to understand what happened to Verstappen during the Miami Grand Prix. See you there.